Big part of that, though, which us Lions homers don't love to admit, is your quarterback. You do have an elite quarterback behind center right now. You obviously know that. He took you on a Super Bowl run, but he's getting long in the tooth. It is a year where it feels like there are expectations, and I wanted to pass it over to you, Andy, because the talent is the talent. The numbers are the numbers. Where are you on Stafford today, this year, this season?
Man, it's so hard for me to be objective about Stafford. It's like, it just is, dude. It's like, how do you stomach your ex? Well, it's how do you stomach your ex moving on and getting married immediately, right? It's like you're here for 12 years with us, you do nothing, and then you go and win a Super Bowl your first year in Los Angeles, and it just makes us look like the toxic ex, and you're like this, this princess being being taken off into the sunset with your perfect situation now.
Rob? Hey!
Hey, how are you? God, it's good to see you.
Good to see you, too.
How's my dog? I'm sorry, your dog.
Oh, I had to give him away.
Gave him away!
Well, Dave's allergic.
Dave! All right, so there's a Dave. That's great. God, Dave sounds great.
Yeah, he is. And his parents are so sweet.
Aw, met his parents and they're sweet. Just older Daves, huh? What a family. God, it's good to see you.
But I am who I am, right? I'm telling you up front, I don't like Stafford. I will never like Stafford. That being said, he's really good. He's really, really good. And there was a very small part of me when he won that Super Bowl that was like, it was a slice of humble pie. It was like, okay, I do have the most, BS franchise in the league. And this guy was a Super Bowl caliber quarterback the whole time. It's just how he could not overcome the dysfunction that was Detroit Lions. And that's okay. Nobody could for many, 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 many years. So, and not to mention that, like, when I was doing research for this video, just kind of seeing what was up with Stafford last year and kind of getting reacclimated with all his stats and everything from last year, all I could find was just Kelly Stafford stuff. So I kind of feel bad for the guy right now because you're married to an absolute psychopath narcissist who will not shut up about anything and says way too much about your personal life. So I do have a little bit of soft spot for Stafford now because his wife just will not for the life of her shut up. Nobody booed your kids. Please don't tell me about your sexual experiences in college of how you tried to make your husband jealous.
I heard that. I wish I didn't hear that, but I just heard that.
He's a multimillionaire, Super Bowl winning NFL quarterback that we all, for better or worse, respect on some level. Don't drag his name in mud, please. That ain't it. I'm not with that. But that's just my 2 cents on it. That's just how I feel about it. Show a little respect. But to get into last year, I mean, the dude, he does what he does, right? 62% completion percentage, 3,965 yards, 24 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, pass rating of 92.5. With the exception of 2011 and 2021, that's what you're getting from Stafford every year. You're getting anywhere from 20 to 30 touchdowns, 10 to 17 interceptions, and you're typically gonna win, at least 8 games, no matter what. It's very rare that he's gonna have these really terrible seasons, and that's, I think, what got Detroit stuck in purgatory for so long was he couldn't necessarily elevate us to winning divisions and 10, 11, 12, 13 wins, but he was always good for like 8. And it's like, how do you get better when you're constantly drafting in the teens or in the late tens, if you the 8, 9, 10 range, it's hard, right? So it's a little bit of back and forth about how I feel about it. He, in the end of the day, dude, I mean, Stafford's a baller. There's nothing more to it. The one thing that I worry about, there's 2 things I worry about really when it comes to Stafford. I worry about his ability to overcome and his health. So if you look at his tenure in Detroit, I know I'm taking it back a little bit further, but I do want to touch on it because the overall context of the whole situation matters. 2011, he throws 5,000 yards, 41 touchdowns. Him and Megatron have that amazing connection that year. He leads the Lions. This was kind of his chance to like really stamp himself as like, yeah, I'm that number one pick, and that's I'm really that guy. All he had to do was beat a Matt Flynn led Packers team, and they win the division, and they have a home playoff game. He couldn't do that. They ended up losing to the Matt Flynn Packers game, and then they have to go to New Orleans, and they just get spanked by a Sean Payton, Drew Brees team, and that's that season. 2014, same kind of thing. He goes, he wins. They win 11 games, I think it was. Coming second in the division again. I mean, those were those prime Aaron Rodgers years. I'm not even gonna knock him on that. It's very Justin Herbert. I touched on that in the Chargers video. It's a very Justin Herbert, Pat Mahomes, Matt Stafford, Aaron Rodgers. It's very similar in that regard. But you go to Dallas, and it's a very beatable Dallas team, and everybody will reference the terrible pass interference call in the third quarter there. But there was a whole another quarter left. He had multiple chances to win that game, and he didn't. You go to 2016 again. You come in second in the division. You go to the playoffs, and you get absolutely dog walked by Seattle. A 26-6 loss. You don't make the playoffs until 2021 when you're with the Rams, and you go on a Super Bowl run, and you almost lose to Tampa Bay, you almost lose to Cincinnati, but you overcome and you win, and credit to you. You did that. I will never take that away from Matthew Stafford. I will never take that away from the Rams. You guys did that. But then 2023, you come into Detroit, and you have a chance to win that game multiple times, and you don't. How many times were you guys in the red zone during that game and did not capitalize? So I say all this to say, everything is it that everything needs to be perfect for Stafford to make a run? Was 2021 a magic carpet run, or is there valid excuses for these other years, right? Is it that he ran into Sean Payton and Drew Brees, and then ran into a Pete Carroll, Russell Wilson, or ran into a Detroit Lions team that had never been to the playoffs really in the modern era, and the atmosphere was too much to overcome because of all the emotions and everything involved with it? Or is it that he just doesn't perform like that great in these big moments? I think you can make an argument both ways. So that's kind of my thing with him. I do really like the Rams this year. I actually think you're going to win this division. I think there's going to be a step back with San Francisco, and I think there's going to be kind of a room for you guys to strike. My worry about you making a deep playoff run is that this is kind of what he does. He kind of has this track record of being a little lackluster when it comes to big moments and big games. Do you agree, or am I tripping?
No, I mean, it was part of the thing that we always talked about, you and I, and the thing is, you're never going. All fans of a team know this. You go to war with other fan bases, right? We know we talk to Bears fans. We hate the Bears, whatever. You never go to war more with anybody else than somebody within your fan base who disagrees with your opinion about your team.
Yeah, no, that's fast. Yeah.
And I got in arguments at bars. I mean, you remember over the years of sort of saying, there's
Kirk
no
Cousins
other
was better.
quarterback, right? There's no other quarterback in football other than Andy Dalton, and his run wasn't as long in Cincinnati, that had been the starting quarterback for a team without any playoff wins and any division titles. And until he got to LA, I was never comfortable really putting him in the category of where he was often put, like with Drew Brees, with Peyton Manning, with Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers. It was always those guys that he was being put with. Not so much Brett, because he was after Brett, but Aaron, Brees, Roger, Brady, all these guys that were winning big games. And the difference, I think, now is that, and you touched on it, we are in a post Matt Stafford Super Bowl world now. So now we get into the game of, can you do it again? It'll be really interesting to see if this team can close. I don't know. But I love them. I'm with you.
I think the game that we're really playing, and I think Rams fans know this well just from seeing it, is can he stay healthy? That's the real bugaboo. I can knock his playoff record all I want. In the end of the day, all Rams fans can sit there and just go like this and go, shut up, you're a salty Lions fan. We got to ring you. Don't shut up, shut up, shut up. And it would be valid, right? It's like, all right, yeah, I mean, I'm going to shut up. But what I can't deny is that seemingly every 3 years, he gets a season-altering, season half-missing injury. And the problem with that is that he's 36 now, and he's not getting any younger. My fear is that he was hurt in 22. He missed a handful of games. I mean, I think he missed a majority of the game. I think he only played like 8 of them or 9 of them, maybe. Mm-hmm. Missed at least half the season, and that's really where you guys fell short. You guys remember the Baker Mayfield run and all that was all due to Stafford having a season-ending injury. So if he can stay healthy this year, man, I think the sky's the limit with this team. And I'll let Ian touch on the weapons here in a second. But if he can't stay healthy, I mean, you're left with Jimmy G, and then the season might collapse. And then at that point, I fear that you're looking at trying to find a replacement for him. Because it's just that time. He's 36. I know that his wife is not shy about the fact that she does not want him playing very much longer, if at all. And I think he's talked about retiring too. So how many more years does he have in him? How many more years can you get beat up and miss a whole season or miss half a season from a stupid, arm injury or a leg injury or whatever it might be this time? Before you go, all right, I think I'm done. Nobody's Tom Brady, and not everybody's Aaron Rodgers, frankly. These guys hit their late 30s, and it's go time. Like it's time to just check out of the game, and the game surpasses them. So that's just kind of where I'm with it. If he can stay healthy, sky's the limit. If he can't, it could be a rough year